Good morning, Kent. I did stay up last night, Kent, every second.
It was worth it.
Yeah, that's, you know, definitely right at my bedtime, but I made it through. Oh, I'm sorry. Everybody else is on right now too. My
And
bad.
they were all up too, Coach. They were all watching the thing. And then they had to write a story afterwards, so they were up for a few hours after the game. So,
I should hope so.
all right. Well, Coach, anything you want to share with from today, or do you want to go into questions?
Yeah, what quarterback or injuries? Is that what you're talking about? Let me go to yeah, let me get my deal. I'll go over it. No, it's good to get back outside. I mean, weather has been just outstanding this time of the year up north. Big Ten football, sunshine, practicing outside. I was a little overdressed today, as a matter of fact. Can't get much better than that. Injury-wise, seriously, we are getting better. Uh, I guess that's about all I can say. We're getting better. We'll need all the days. Hopefully, we can have most of our guys back out there this week. Successful surgery about Alex yesterday. Road to recovery is already. Take your question.
Okay, we'll start off with Jeremy, and then everybody else, please line up in the chat to queue up for questions. But go ahead, Jeremy.
Good morning, Lovie. Speaking of Palcho, he kind of hinted that he wants to maybe come back and play at Ireland. So has he talked about that with you? Is that a possibility? What would that mean for you guys?
Well, it meant quite a bit. I think everybody knows how much I care personally about Alex, and then just him as a football player here. Just so to have him come back, of course, would be huge for us. He will attack his rehab, and he'll get stronger, he'll get bigger, all of that. We're going to get the best version of Alex when he comes back.
And then I just wanted to kind of ask you, I mean, we're 7 or 6 games into the season, a couple games left. What's this experience been like for you, just going through this season as so many schools have, paused play and you guys have basically gotten through it? Just as you look back on this, what's this been like for you?
Well, the expectations for the season were kind of aligned with what has happened. I knew that, with this type of disease going around, there could be pauses. Expected it. I knew that we could have a lot of positive tests. I was hoping we wouldn't, and we haven't had a lot, but I think we prepped ourselves for the worst, maybe possible situation. And so when the worst doesn't turn out like that, it's got to be a positive. So we've been going with the flow. Excited about. We have more football left to go, and it's like talking about how you playing in a game and the game isn't over. So I can't wait to see how we finish.
But just going through the daily testing, the daily, having to be all together with this, all bought in on this. What's that been like, Lovie?
Well, I think there's a lot that our players can get from this. First off, I mean, you talk to most college students, I mean, they getting up early in the morning, probably not at the top of their list. But I think it's something about learning about routine, getting up at the same time every day, starting your morning off a certain way. I am from the country, proud of that. And you start your day off early. So I'm a routine guy too. So I get up the same time. Our players get up the same time. We test the same time. And I think there's something to that. And you hope that discipline that you have of just doing that will carry over on the football field. So I think it's good for all of us.
And obviously you guys had a couple positive tests early in the season, but it didn't blow up, and shut down your program. What do you think that's a credit to for you guys?
Well, I think it's a credit to, first you just talk about our university. We were at the forefront of testing. We started our saliva tests early on. Guys got into that routine. That has helped us an awful lot of getting at the forefront of things that could possibly happening if, we have had a couple positives, but to identify them right away where they didn't affect the rest of the team. All of that has been good. So there's just so many things we've learned along the way. And just the people that we've come in contact with. I mean, there are about 20 people every day that come in and do the testing, and just how dedicated people are, nurses. I mean, people in the medical profession on just trying to help, of course, keep the spread down and all those things.
Thank you, Lovie.
Well,
Okay, Jim Cotter, you're up. Bob, on deck. Go ahead, Jim.
Hey, Lovie, I want to talk about the weather right now, just because it's December, and when you guys had when the final schedule came out back in September, I want to say, when you guys saw that you'd be playing in December, did you have any idea that you might be still outside with the weather, in the low 40s in December? Because this is normally the time when you would be, in a bowl season, starting bowl practices, and you never know what Mother Nature can throw at you. But just how lucky have you guys been to be on the practice field with no snow and, the sunny temperature, sunny conditions like it is today?
Well, that's about, as we look at 2020, it hadn't been a normal year by any means. And this is surprising. I've been up north quite a few years, and normally we are dealing with, just cold, frigid weather, but snow, a lot of different things. And we're not. As you look, the day, sun is out. As I said, I was overdressed, so we weren't expecting this. We haven't really had any cold games. It's been perfect weather for it. So since this is the year we're going to remember forever, that's why it's just so important for us to finish it off the right way. And of course, to remember, finally getting over that hump of eliminating, deciding where the Land of Lincoln Trophy should be and all of that.
I got one more quick one for you. I know Jeremy had talked about, the testing protocols and whatnot. Now that the students are away from campus, you guys have kind of been bubbled anyway. But what's it like now with you guys just basically being the only ones around still in your bubble, still testing daily? It's just, you guys have kept a real safe protocol throughout all this. And I think that's helped you guys a lot as compared to some of the schools that have seen their numbers blow up here in the last few weeks.
That is the case, but for us, it's been different. Most of our guys have had online classes, so it's not like we've been around a lot of people, and we have had our version of a bubble throughout. None of us have been, I know personally, we haven't been going out to dinner, doing anything like that. So when the students left, it took me a couple of days to know, I forgot that they were all gone now, because I hadn't seen many of them. And I think most of our players would have a similar story, but it is a little different right now. But the games kind of tell you that, and seeing the students in the stands. I mean, that part, you start off being different just with that.
Thank you, Lovie.
Hey, Bob, you're up. Joey on deck. Go ahead, Bob.
Coach, you and Northwestern are in good shape for this week, illness-wise. But some of the rest of the Big Ten is having some trouble. Michigan, Ohio State, not going to play. How do you feel about those games not being played, being a part of the conference and being a coach in the conference?
Well, first you kind of look in your, in your own house a little bit, and I'm glad that we are able to maintain our rivalry game. And I just know what's kind of happening in our state a little bit. Kind of tells you not just here at the University of Illinois, but in our state, how things have gone as far as sports are concerned. But a part of college football is to get the traditional games in, and probably the most traditional game in the Big Ten Conference is, Ohio State and Michigan. So for that not to be played, that kind of tells you how different it is this year. But again, going into it, we knew that this was a possibility.
And fair to say that when the vaccine is available for the general public, you will be in line. Is that fair to say or not?
Will I be in line?
Yeah.
Or our team?
No, you can.
Yeah, every vaccine, and I've been around a few years. Every vaccine they've told me that I needed to take, I've done that. I believe in modern medicine, and anything you can do to stay healthy and keep diseases away. Yeah, I would be in line when they tell me that I can.
And there's some talk, apparently the ex-presidents are gonna, I'll do it like publicly. Would you do that too? If somebody said, hey, let's get a camera in front of you when you take the vaccine, would you do that?
Me and the president you're talking about, it's a little bit different scale on. I don't know how many people will really care whether I had it or want to see me take it, but I'm not, yeah, you can kind of go with my word a little bit. When I say I'm going to do something, I am going to do it, but no problem at all. Absolutely. If somebody wants to do that. My wife, Mary Ann, she's going to be there for sure when I do it. So are you talking about her too? My grandkids?
Of course. Great. Your kids, everybody.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Bob.
Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome.
All right, Joey, you're up. Gavin on deck. Go ahead, Joey.
Hey, Lovie. Greg Newsome's on a pretty impressive run of games, stringing together here. What makes him so good, and what kind of challenges does he present?
He's start off with, he's a good athlete with good ability. That's a good starting spot. He's a competitive guy. He has a corner mindset. I'm talking about, it's always about the next play. Physical. He has all the traits you're looking for in an outstanding player, and he is.
And, I think Bob alluded to some games being canceled, and maybe some people have wondered if there could be shuffling around of the schedule here. Is that feasible for you? It's Wednesday now. I mean, this seems like a little close to maybe shuffle a game on Saturday. Is there a window where you think it could be a reasonable conversation to have?
Yeah, I think if there's a reasonable conversation to have would be ideally about Tuesday, but Wednesday at the latest, if you're going to do something like that, I would assume we would do, but it's a different year, so you just never know. I think we feel pretty good about our chances of playing Northwestern this week, so we'll just go with that.
All right, thanks, Lovie.
Well,
Okay, Gavin, it's up to you.
Morning, Lovie. Good to see you. I have kind of a provisional question too, I guess. With the Big Ten, debating what to do with this last week of games, I was wondering if you would have any thought about whether it would be more manageable for you guys to play on campus sites or to play that last game on neutral sites. Is that something that matters to you, or do you have an opinion on that?
yeah, I absolutely have an opinion. If you ask me, of course, we would like to play home site and preferably here in Champaign, if they were asking me, of course. But I think it makes sense to play at one of the home sites. To go to a neutral site, as we talked about early on the questions about the weather's pretty good all around. So don't really have a preference. The way we initially started off, it was based on standings as we finished. That made sense. And having, game at one of our home stadiums makes sense. From there, we'll kind of see, as much as anything, just excited about one more game, for the regular season at least. And in an ideal world, we'd like to play someone we haven't played, but whoever it is, we'll be ready to go.
Thanks, Coach.
Welcome.
Coach, Gavin was shaking his head in agreement that college students don't like to get up, wouldn't normally put getting up early at the top of their list. So he apparently agrees with you on that. Okay.
I can vouch.
All right. Colin, go ahead.
Sorry, I thought Jim was going. Oh, Jim's was skipped. Lovie, talking a little bit about the Northwestern offense. What have you seen from them in film? What are some keys to trying to slow down their offensive attack in your mind?
Well, commitment to the run, two excellent running backs. Running backs have a little different flavor. One more maybe between the tackles. Anderson can make you miss an open field, a little bit more shifty guy. Quarterback, you just start off with the quarterback. I mean, Peyton Ramsey, he's had success in our league for a long period of time. Can make all the throws. Athletic enough to move the chains with his feet. Their offensive lines have always been solid. Peter Skaronski, we recruited him. We recruited him awful hard. As a true freshman starting right now, says a lot. Like their tight ends, like their skill. For you to, have a 5-1 record right now, it's saying an awful lot about your team. And I know their defense gets a lot of credit, and rightfully so. But the offense has really played good complementary football to what the defense is doing.
And I don't expect you to go like player by player or anything, but you mentioned the defense as well. Seeing that Iowa defense, it was such a tough test for you guys in the previous week. Does that do anything to kind of prepare you guys for Northwestern's defense? Is there any comparison between those two defenses at all?
Yes, similarities, but I mean, we played a good defense last week. We're playing a good defense this week, and teams on our side as far as the conference is concerned that we know well. We're going to be playing them each week. We're familiar with them. We're both familiar with in rival game this week. Pretty familiar with each other. Know what it's going to come down to. Last year when we played offensively, we were missing quite a few guys. This year we got more of our guys ready to go. So excited about going up north.
Thanks, Lovie.
Welcome.
All right, Jim, did you want to follow up with one last thing?
Yeah, Lovie, real quick. I know Bryce Barnes has been a stalwart, sometime player on your defense this year after playing primarily special teams last year. Can you talk a little bit about how Bryce has transformed into the defensive unit and what you have seen from him this year?
Well, he's transformed his body, first off. I think Bryce played tight end and maybe a little defensive end at Gibson City. Is that where? Yeah, of course it is Gibson City. Remember going up there with him and all.
Yep.
But just hard worker, tough guy, put on some pounds, good weight. And for you to be that type of athlete and be on special teams is saying an awful lot. So normally if you just keep working, keep your head down, we'll find a spot for you, your ideal position. And he got some ties. I guess Nebraska might have been his first action at the 3 technique position, and had a couple good plays there, and continue to give him more. He should get some plays this week.
Thank you, Lovie.
You're welcome.
All right, Coach, that wraps it up today. So appreciate your time with this group. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thanks, Lovie.